I couldn't specifically think of them saying this is what you have or so on, but I've definitely had depression since, estimated from what I know, from about around 4, as far as I know, and then having developed anxiety from the late summer of 2017. I would imagine if I asked my GP or that psychiatrist or my therapist, they would very much say that, yeah, that formally, I guess, that I do have that sort of thing. But yeah, I guess, yes, I do have some sort of formal thing on long-standing, like, chronic, that's the one, I think. Okay. And then just having anxiety recently-ish, so it's just made the last 3 years particularly difficult.
Yeah.
Well, up until about 2 months ago, I've been doing pretty well for the past 2 months. I've normally never been working, really. I've been mostly just in my room feeling very upset and sad. So for many years, including uni, sixth form and secondary school, and I suppose parts of primary school, it would have been a daily thing, and I've been able to cope with it a lot better recently, with going out and doing things, talking to people, just doing more in general, and trying to be mindful and train myself to think in a different way rather than being so negative, trying to not overthink. But that's so hard, because when you try to not overthink, you overthink about trying to not overthink, and then it just gives you a headache, and then you sort of try and close your eyes and do the mindful thing where you just listen to the sounds, don't try and think about them, don't try to judge them, just listen to them and just be in the moment, which I find is very important to do. To try and be in the moment rather than in the thinking about the future all the time. I'm at home and feeling particularly bad. I will be quite angry and bitter towards myself, and just be in a sort of spiral of thinking like how I'm worthless, and how I don't look very good, or I hate my hair or something, or getting more around to doing more stuff and having 2 jobs, but the jobs sort of feel pointless, and it's just going out and doing stuff and having done nothing, but then seeming to having, in the process of trying to do stuff, sort of realising that it's jumping into the adult life of doing work for 40 years, retiring and then dying, just because of the overthinking and negative stuff. So I guess I am mostly angry towards myself, or just very apathetic and overthinking with however I am at the moment, I suppose, when I'm feeling particularly bad. Yes, I do. The last one I had was on Sunday at the local shop that I work at. And for a while I haven't been having them, but I've been foolish enough to start trying to drink alcohol again. And I know it affects me very badly at the moment, because I've drunk way too much over the past however long since secondary school, and that's just really taking its toll on me. And I just really enjoy doing it, and going out with friends is so much fun, and that helps you have a good time even more so. And so ever since then, which is about 2-3 weeks ago, I've been having more, because funnily enough, it only really seems to happen even when I'm having a good time during transportation, like in a car or the train or something. But yeah, panic attack, last had it on Sunday, and it's mostly trouble breathing, really, and being able to breathe or being able to find the breath. But it's been different symptoms on and off. Sometimes it was my hands seizing up and not being able to do anything out of it. They just seized up like that. My whole head going numb with heavily pins and needles, or just when it's the absolute worst, like chest pain, like there's a hole through there. It's just like a piercing sort of stabbing, and that's very scary when stuff like that happens. Like I've had losing vision in like my left eye, my ears ringing. Yeah, it's unpleasant. It's been a very unpleasant 3 years, but I'm slowly getting back up.
Yeah.
I've said for a long time that I would want my career and profession to be in acting, be an actor, which is still the case, and that would give me a huge amount of fulfillment and joy and therapeutic exercise. But it's not what's going to make me look back when I'm 80 and think, yeah, I coped with it well, or yeah, I had a good time. It's definitely, I've found, like when talking to females that I've known like at secondary school and bumped into them, and I've just had a good chat with them, and that just really amps me up for some reason. Can't imagine why. But yeah, it can be hard to admit sometimes, especially to other women, I suppose, that really gives me a huge dose of motivation, even if I'm doing bad that day. And so I think the answer to your question would be to have a family. Really, that would help me cope. A family that isn't my parents, is like my own family.
Yeah.
Essentially, that would help me. That would make me want to get up every morning and face whatever I had to face that's within my own head, just because I've got people that love me and I want to do it for them. Anyone with similar things, and what's their best quality?
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I've met various people with similar things, and I think overall that the same quality is true of most of them, maybe all of them. That you got that saying of, the person that's like smiling the most with people, or trying to make other people happy the most, is probably the person that's struggling with themselves the most. And I would say that the best quality within the people who I've seen that have the similar sort of things is just that they're very nice people, and because of the hardships that they've faced within their own head, they try and have a good time with other people, and are very warm and pleasant and positive and supportive in a healthy way to just everybody. Obviously it differs with some people, but that's how I would say.
Yeah. Do you see your mental health difficulties as a part of you?
Unfortunately, yes. And I say unfortunately because I remember years ago thinking that I've always wanted to get rid of this like negative sort of feeling that I have and thoughts that I have, but I've had it for so long now, it does feel like a part of me.
Yeah.
And because of how, like I said, how people that I've met who are struggling with the same things, being very nice and stuff, it's also what helps me be very sensitive and very caring, and I wouldn't want to change that either. I'm pretty sure someone's mentioned to me, like my dad or something, that Stephen Fry was asked about his like bipolar and depression stuff, and being asked that, if you could not, it was something along the lines of, if you could not have it, would you not have it? It's like, oh no, it's like I wouldn't want to not have it, because it's part of who I am and makes me, it gives me some positive qualities, because it is very hard to cope with, but then you can get some real good stuff from it and be a better person also from it, from having to have to deal with it, and then being able to help others more when they're struggling as well, when you get the time to not be too busy on yourself, I guess.
Yeah.